I make a motion, we come out of executive session.
A second.
Motion was made, come out of executive session. Mr. Wilcox, second Mr. Keith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah.
Okay, what's on the,
Okay, Mr. Parker, what were you saying?
The Gunner Road.
We need to let the record show nothing was decided. Let the record show that, wait, didn't we have one thing?
No action was taken, that's no official action.
Okay, let the record show that no official action was taken during executive session. Okay. Okay, Parker.
Okay, thank you. Our Gunner Road project, which goes back years and years, and I had been authorized to go back and look at the plats so the county could go ahead and obtain right-of-way on the Gunner Road project. Well, about 75–80% of the ownership plats out there had changed some shape, form, or fashion. So we have prepared new plats, right-of-way plats, on Gunner Road. We have not pinned these plats yet, meaning we have not gone out and set the iron pins for the right-of-way that's needed for the construction of that road. And my question is, because the plats that I have here and have with me this morning, they're for information only, and they're stamped that way, and they have to be until we get the iron pins set. And my question is, do you want me to proceed and set the iron pins on that project, or exactly what's the status and what your plans are?
The question I was gonna ask, if we do this, what good is it gonna do us to follow through with acquiring it if we don't build the road in the next few years? We're gonna have to turn around and do it all over again.
Not if you've already acquired the right of way.
Already acquired the right of way is done.
It's
I
a
got you.
be done
Right.
deal.
And like again, like I said before, we, the CMPD, I can get that on by having this done. We can get that on there because it will move itself. And I talked to Mike Monk about it. That was one thing he said. If you do that, then you could. If something comes up, it would be more. Have a better opportunity to fall in there for money to be
You're shovel
come away.
ready.
Huh?
You're shovel ready.
Kind of ready, more ready for construction.
I'm glad Jay brought that up, because there is one part of this project that does bear paying attention to what Jay is saying.
Mhm.
And that is that, and Ms. Buster confirmed, that there are many temporary easements that are gonna be necessary for this project in addition to the actual right-of-way.
Mhm.
So some care will have to be introduced in the wording of those temporary easements so that they don't expire at a date. We
Okay,
need to be very careful with that.
but it could be done.
It can be done.
Okay.
And it just, in my own head, I've got language that's already in there that I'm thinking of right now as to how to word those temporary easements so you don't lose them in a delay. So it can definitely be done correctly for the benefit of the county.
Okay.
So that, his point about a delay in the project is well taken.
Right. Oh, and I agree, but I'm glad you brought that up, because I'd like to see, hopefully, if we can do this, move on forward with this, we could have the wording correct in there.
Well, I saw,
You want to make one payment to a landowner and not multiple payments, depending on the time.
I saw on the email Jenny sent, the stuff y'all carried to Washington, and that was on there.
Right.
We've never done that before,
What?
asked for money for that road.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
No,
sir.
we've asked for the other road, the
No,
one going
sir.
from 49 to 55.
It's been on there before,
Yeah.
Mr. Bishop,
When?
last time.
Yeah. Because it was used as a connector, it showed us connector to 469, which went to 468, and showed how that, yeah, it was all on there.
It was playing in the overall program for
Yeah.
a connector from 55 all the way to 20. That's what it amounted to.
Yeah. No, it's been on there every time one was discussed, the other one was discussed, really. But this time we kind of separate them as one, and we put them as one, but kind of separate them because it seems to get more interest in the Parkway side than maybe this side. But then when we did tell them that we had money invested in it, that was got a nod out of that. You know, that at least you're making got some skin in the game.
So the next part of the process would be to authorize the placement of pins, which would then allow for the development of the legal description of the plat that goes with the instruments that you ultimately require.
Yeah.
Yes, I have, I think with all of them, I have, let's see, I thought I had some legal scriptures with me, but, yeah, your statement is basically correct. We finalize the legal descriptions to go with these plats. Because by the law we have to follow, you really can't finalize that legal description until you pen it.
Okay. I wish we'd continue that, Alexa. So we've already got, again, money invested in that one. That's going to be one of the, you know, there's been talk about too much money in road and bridge, too much money in road and bridge. I mean, there's plenty of projects out there. And this is just another step to get this project possibly, like I said, on some type of financial potential plan. And at least we have something ready. I talked to, I know in the past that's sometimes been done where you get something ready when things come available. Obviously, you got something there. So I wish we could encourage the board to continue on with that. I appreciate that.
So is this on the STIP already? Buster?
Is Gunner on the step?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure,
I'm not sure whether it's on the step or not.
but I've had couple discussions, and that was one of the things he told me to try to do to help get it in there.
Oh, yeah, I think it will fall in place with the PDD, and if you're gonna get any money for that particular road, that's where it's gonna come. I don't think it'll come from, quote, Washington. I think Washington will look harder at the bypass proposition and possibly our drainage project. But PDD, I know, would be happy to work with us and the people on the committees.
Well, I know we've already spoken for the next 4 or 5 years' monies.
Yeah, but that might change, you know, whenever the new board comes on, Jay, so.
This board doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, and a lot of things though, I mean, you've been there, their money has come in there a lot of times, and they didn't have, it was some left over from different ones, and they're like trying to find a place to put it. I never forget the one that, I don't remember if it was Raymond or Terry, because they were the only ones that had anything. But they got like $700,000. I'm just saying and you know, a bunch of the little places could have used it, but they're the ones that had something sitting there.
Yeah, but you want to take the place of our Spillway Road project.
Huh?
You want to take the place of our Spillway Road project.
Go ahead.
Currently, we have, you know, a road that's scheduled for the MPO. Well, we have it on the STIP already, the widening of Spillway Road. And if we go and add this, then we're just going to be competing for our other projects we already have out there.
So some projects, there again, you got more projects in there. I think that's where we sometimes, if you at the meeting, sometimes I think that's where we may fail, is that these other counties have multiple that are sitting there that are ready for things. And so I think sometimes because we put all our emphasis on one, that we may not get, that sometimes may hurt us. I've just over the years sitting there watching it, and I think we get passed over some. And I don't know that and these others have Just like some of these others got projects, they got money that's been tied up from, over there for 8 and 12 years. They've still not used it. Well, we've made some changes to where that money would have to be turned loose to use on other projects. Not that it'd take them out of the point system that they currently are in, but money could go and be used. So that's my point, is you try to have other things ready, and if they can't use it, we have something that possibly is in a situation we could apply to. I don't see what it's gonna hurt to go ahead and get the right of way and be steps ahead. Those are exact steps that he explained to Florence on that Florence Byram Road.
Yes, sir.
Part. Exactly. He told him, and they wrote them down, and so that's in their ballpark now to go start authorizing their engineer to design and stuff, to start getting them in that scenario, as he said right there, because sometimes things change and money comes available that this project is more suited for than this one, and you can get it in there. But he said when you don't have anything in it, you're not going to even be in the picture. So.
We do have some easements on this particular project that have already been acquired.
Yeah.
So,
From the work we did already?
yeah, this goes back
6, 7
5,
years ago.
6
5, 6 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I'll call it a hot potato at that particular time, and then it was just brought to a halt.
Well, when we didn't do the additional bond issue, it was one to take it
Yes,
out.
that's correct.
Really. And we'd already gotten, done the design and et cetera on it, and some of the right of way. But then now that some of that's changed.
Well, now, the right of way we have.
Right.
I don't think that there has been any change necessarily in the scope of that right of way that we have acquired.
How much more right of way is
That's
left?
correct.
I think they're all,
I don't
what Mr. Buster's folks have been looking at are
Right.
some minor adjustments in the, I guess you'd say, the part of how the project lays out on the ground. There's been some minor adjustments there, but most of the changes are in ownership of the property.
That's correct.
Lots changed over 6 years.
Yeah,
Sold property, people passed away. So what you thought were the actual owners of the property on your instruments as originally set up, but never acquired, that's all gotta be changed.
Yeah, I don't think our overall design on the road is going to change. There may be some minor adjustments, but the road, when we got to that point on our design, we were ready. If the right of way had been obtained, we were ready to go to bid.
Mm-hmm.
So we feel comfortable with our design.
They couldn't change
What was that?
much or straight.
What was that budgeted then, Buster?
I think we had $5 million, I believe.
You talking about for the overall road?
Yeah.
About 5, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
5. Matter of
But that
fact,
didn't-
we bumped that up when we were talking to the folks in Washington, because we did talk to them about it.
Right.
And we had bumped that up to about 5.8 million, because it had been, that $5 million
Yeah.
estimate was several years old.
And that doesn't include right of way though.
No, sir.
Yeah.
The construction.
Yeah, see, what they're looking at and what encourages them, and I think what Jared was getting at a while ago, if you have gone to the trouble to get the right of way and to get some design done, that puts you in a more favorable light to get construction funding. I think that's where you were going, Jared.
Yeah, in fact, Mayor Rhodes, I've sat by him several times at CMPD, and that's exactly what he says. We got them ready to go.
Yeah.
Because when something comes up that's available, we can jump in here. And so he says the same thing. And that was part of the reason we wanted the technical committee to go back and reevaluate how long you could hold funding. And they did, and they changed it considerably, depending on whether it was overlay or reconstruction or different things, but they changed it. And that was the reason. He and I were very verbal in that meeting, because when we found out millions of dollars sitting there for 8 and 12 years, and they would use reasons like, oh, we were trying to get some right of way. So that, that's another reason
Yes.
what I was thinking about. If you have this,
What
got
other?
some that are ready.
Okay, well, so what other projects do we have right now that, just like Gunner Road, and I know that Walters had one that supposedly would right away and things like that also that I
That
believe.
Andrew Chapel Road?
Correct.
Yeah, it was supposed to be out of bond issue money.
Right.
And then some things transpired, and the main thing at that particular time, I think, was the Juvenile Justice Center.
Right.
But monies were needed, so the decision was made to utilize those monies, and the road you're referring to in Walters District was kind of put on the back burner.
Right. Yeah, there were
was
several,
still
I
a little
thought.
bit of money left in there, but not enough to do any good and really address the worst areas on Andrew Chapel.
Yeah, I guess, and Jared, I understand what you're saying. Truly, I do. You also have Luckney Road that's coming up too. That's going to be a hot potato because 471 is being finished. They're already filtering onto Luckney Road.
Yeah, that'd be a different round of money, I think.
Well, that's true, but we would have to match some of that money. We would actually have to come out of Road and Bridge on that money, I would think, wouldn't we? Or not? Buster?
Well, I'm trying to think, I don't know that you would have to, but if you're gonna do anything on Luckney Road, it's gotta come.
Something's gonna have to be done on Luckney Road, I can assure you.
But
Because
doesn't that fall into, was it state
state aid,
aid?
Again.
Well, that has been discussed a little bit in the past. And, the Mayor Brandon here was here in one of the meetings, he had estimated $4 million. They had run some numbers, $4 or $5 million for, if you're talking about utilizing state aid money, that'll take up all the state aid money for a 4-year period for that one road.
right.
Buster, do you remember how much Andrew Chapel was?
$5 million.
Is that what it was, 5
Yeah,
million?
it was
That's what
around.
we had in there originally.
Yeah, that's
We
what
were
we
only
had.
gonna do from Palm Hill back to Baker Lane,
Mhm.
which is the worst part of it.
It was $5 million for that part?
Well, that was
No.
a heavy estimate.
That was the
I mean,
worst
there would've been
part
some
of
funds
it.
left over.
How far did we
See,
get on
what
that?
happened when we had a little bit of
Bridge,
money
we were
left,
going
which
to
was
10 with
less than $1
nothing
million
to require
after the court situation was
temporary
settled,
runaround,
building the
which
youth
the
detention.
construction cost of.
There was not enough money to address the worst part of the road, which is what Mr. Johnson's talking about. So the project was to go all the way through, $5 million.
How far did we get on that?
Very, very preliminary. We came up with some estimates, but design-wise, we were brought to a halt because of the other things that were taking place that the bond money was needed for. But we had initially looked at some design, but not a final design at all.
But you finished the design on Gunner?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we were instructed to do that, Mr. Bishop, by the board. And we were also instructed to go ahead with the road that Walter's talking about there, but then we were brought to a halt. And I believe the county administrator's the one that informed me, don't do anything else out there because the monies were being expended somewhere else. And I believe it was a youth court facility at that time. I believe that's right. The new Youth Justice Center, or whatever it's referred to.
No, I don't think it went to the Justice Center.
You don't?
No.
I think it went to, actually, I think it went to, what's that road?
Three prong.
Three Prong.
Part of it went, yeah.
That's where it went.
didn't go in my damn district.
Yep, went to Three Prong. Because in the meeting, yeah, he's right. That's where somebody, yeah, you're right.
But it was picked at 2 or 3 times. I mean, the 5 million dwindled slowly.
Yes.
Well, it was.
I
on
just
a-
remember the first thing.
Anytime there was a shortfall on any project that was in the county, oh, we got Andrew Chapel. Oh, now.
But didn't you say one time you wanted to hold up on that a little bit anyway? Didn't we do one end of it?
No.
No. We did Baker Lane, and then
It stops.
All right, that's
It
right.
tees, it
That's what I'm
runs
thinking
into
about,
Andrew Chapel.
That's what I'm thinking.
But again, I was looking at it from the unit system form of county government. And if it took the 5 million that I had allocated for a road out of our bond issue money to complete other tasks and improve other districts, I was certainly in favor of that. As a result, my constituency is, the shock business has got to be good. These shops are probably doing good replacing shocks. And
Tires.
do they still have shocks on cars?
I have no idea.
You know, I think personally, I'd rather address whichever road's in worse shape and more travel.
Well, it's in the road plan.
Have you been down there on that road? Have you seen it? Do you know how dangerous it is?
No? But which one is in worse shape and more travel?
And which one?
Andrew Chapel or Gunner?
I would probably, well, I can't tell you about the travel, really, I can't. I would say they probably got a lot of equal for a lot of reasons, but,
I mean, we're gonna have this discussion here in a couple months, you know?
well, either way though, Jay, I don't see, you're not talking about a lot of money to acquire this right of way and have this right of way ready. Otherwise, you're sitting out there with, back again, like what I said, we don't have anything there. I think the right of way, I don't see a thing in the world wrong with us going and acquiring right. Not talking about what, about 300,000.
Oof. I don't.
I mean, do you have an estimate on it?
Yeah.
Huh?
I have not done one. I think
I thought-
I did one based on what property was going for. Greg and I had talked about that.
Yeah, we came up with something when we
Yeah.
first.
We had a takeoff that was.
It may have been
if I remember
300.
correctly, 10 cents a foot.
Right.
Yeah,
Square foot.
Which was a number that we used for the other right-of-way projects that were
right.
coextensive to this one, they go on at the same time.
Yeah, we had something, because I remember it came out, I think the question was, what kind of money we talking about
Yeah.
when you voted on it?
We kind of threw a
Support
number.
for.
It was probably about 300 maybe. Yeah.
So where we are is that Mr. Buster needs authority. He
Yeah.
needs specific authority to go set the pins, because the next step in the right-of-way process is getting the actual legals
Right.
done, completed, so that whatever right-of-way acquisition is going to occur,
Right.
it can move forward.
Well, I would certainly wish you would approve since we started this, we moved there, we already got investment in it to move on, let's at least have that sitting there.
So
Right.
you want to do authority for the engineer to set the pins, authority for the instruments to be completed, so that it's at least ready if the next board says, let's get an acquisition agent.
Or if anything else, right.
Well, just understand that just because we gonna do this doesn't necessarily move Gunner ahead of Andrew Chapel.
Jay, I don't think I ever mentioned that.
I'm just saying, you know, that I don't want you, when the new board takes over, to say, well, we got all this done, so we need to do this project first. That we just weigh them both out on terms of need.
Okay, that's what you want to do? We've just been talking about it, and Andrew Chapel came there, we've been talking about Andrew Chapel for some time. In fact, we tried to do something back.
Well,
Sometime else to it.
truthfully, I think from Baker Lane to Palm Hill Road, you could do a level and overlay on it and not have to worry with any property acquisition or right-of-way acquisition in regard to that. I think that bridge is still in good shape according to our bridge report every year. And
So why haven't we
main
done that?
problem with it is it's just rough.
It's rough, and you're gonna need a lot of leveling in it.
Leveling and
Andrew
overlay.
Chapel is a tough road.
Yeah.
But
And you can't just.
you know, from
arbitrarily
there
go-
back now, if we ever decide, and I think it's in the road plan, from there back to actually obtain some right of way and widen the road and bring it up to, you know, standards of other roads that are highly traveled like Andrew Chapel. And that's gonna be terribly expensive, because there's an awful lot of houses that are very close to the road.
Who?
And
Like, almost,
that's why we were just looking at Palm Hill Road
Isn't that the one that got the basketball goal almost in the road? They shoot from the road, put the basketball
yeah.
goal at the, yeah.
On Andrew Child?
Freezing
Yeah.
you to death, that's your
You never shot out there?
That's a pretty, I thought it was a pretty busy road. I mean, that's somebody,
They
You gotta
got a
be- you
goal
gotta be
set up
quick.
out there and they shoot from the road.
okay.
They shoot
All
out
right,
a long shot.
I'll make the
from
motion
far
to
corner.
move forward with acquiring the property.
All right, motion by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah, I don't
All
have
right.
anything.
Well, I guess there's, no other business?
Didn't we have something that we needed to add that on that?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
on
that
the
Stone Bridge.
Stone Bridge.
That's the reason I said, asked was about any,
Stone
when
Bridge.
I said no decision been made when we came out of exec session, that's the reason I questioned that.
What's the wording on that, Craig?
You just need to authorize me to give instruction to our council, Baker Donaldson, to proceed with the settlement offer that we discussed.
Okay, I have a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve that we
okay,
authorize our,
Motion to add a
motion, well, first we need a
I'm
motion to add
sorry,
this to the agenda.
motion to add this item to the agenda.
Motion to add this item to the agenda by Mr. Wilcox, second Mr. Keith. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I make a motion that we approve this item to allow our attorney to get with the other attorneys to get a settlement on this, on Stone Bridge.
Work towards a settlement.
Work towards a Stone Bridge.
Litigation.
All right. Second. Motion to approve this by Mr. Wilcox, second Mr. Keith. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Also on the Gunner Road, y'all, the first motion should have been to add, I don't think there was one to actually vote on.
Oh, that's too far then.
Yeah, we've,
motion. I got a motion to approve.
All right. We've added
we
this
got
to
it
the
added.
agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
We'll have to discuss that a while.
Yeah, it's almost 12.
All right.
We got 5 minutes.
So, did we add it?
We added.
All right, I make a motion to,
Motion approved, Mr. Bishop. I guess.
Second.
Second, Mr. Johnson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
make a motion to adjourn till December
No,
7th.
we didn't approve it.
Huh?
Yeah, we did.
We did vote.
got
No, we adjourned till
Second.
December 2nd?
7th.
7th?
Yeah.
7th.
got a motion, second.
Got a motion second adjourn till December 7th.
You do.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Rodney seconded, Greg made a motion. Hey, where in the world was he coming?
Oh, God.
Where was he coming on?
Yeah, we did get a little nippy in here.
My God.